Hi friends, welcome to my another video. Today in this video, I will discuss about the voltmeter wiring. Voltmeter wiring without selector switch and voltmeter wiring with selector switch. Before going to the wiring discussion, let us brush up our knowledge that what is voltmeter. Voltmeter word is made by two words, voltage and meter. So we can say that voltmeter is an electrical instrument which is used to measure potential difference between the 2 points in an electrical circuit. So the voltmeter is used to measure the voltage. Okay, it is always connected in the parallel. What does it mean? Let us take an example of electrical iron. Okay, and we need to measure the voltage between the phase and neutral. Then what we will do, we will connect a voltmeter parallel to this point and we will check the voltage or the potential difference between these 2 points. Now let us move to our main topic, that is the voltmeter wiring. So the first case I took is voltmeter wiring for single phase power supply. So what we will do in this, suppose we have to measure the voltage difference between the R phase and neutral phase. So what we will do, we will connect this voltmeter parallel to this. We will take a wire from the R phase and we will connect it to the S1 terminal of the voltmeter. We will take another wire from the neutral conductor and we will connect it to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. Then this voltmeter will measure the potential difference between the R phase and neutral. Now let us move to our next case, that is the voltmeter wiring for three-phase power supply. In this case, what we will do what we have done for the single phase. In order to measure the potential difference between the R phase and neutral, we will connect one wire to the R phase and another end of that wire to the S1 terminal of voltmeter. We will connect another wire to the neutral and the another end of that wire to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. In that way, this voltmeter will measure the potential difference between the R phase and neutral. Same we will repeat for yellow phase. We will connect the wire in the yellow phase and to the S1 terminal. We will connect one wire to the neutral and to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. Then this voltmeter will measure the potential difference between the yellow phase and neutral. Same we will do for the yellow phase. Okay, in that case this voltmeter will measure the potential difference between the blue phase and neutral. If we need to measure the potential difference between the two phases, then what we have to do, we have to connect the voltmeter parallel with these two phases. So one wire we will connect to the R phase and to the S1 terminal of the voltmeter. Another wire we will connect to the yellow phase and to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. Then this voltmeter will measure the potential difference between the R phase and yellow phase. In same way, if we want to measure the potential difference between the R phase and blue phase, then we have to connect the potential voltmeter parallel with these two phases. And if we need to measure the potential difference between the yellow phase and blue phase, then again we have to do the same thing, that is we have to connect the voltmeter parallel to the yellow phase and blue phase. But this method is not convenient method. To measure the voltage difference between the two phases or between the phases and neutral, we need separate voltmeter. The panel has limited space, so we cannot accommodate many voltmeter to measure the potential difference between the phases and the potential difference between the phase and neutral. So what we'll do, we will introduce voltmeter selector switch in order to reduce the number of voltmeter. So let us study the voltmeter wiring connection with 4-pole selector switch for 3-phase power supply. In previous case, we have studied that the voltmeter wiring for 3-phase supply, and we noticed that to measure the voltage between or the potential difference between the phase to phase or phase to neutral, we need one separate voltmeter, which is not practical as well as not convenient. So let us move to our another case, that is the voltmeter wiring with 4 position selector switch for 3-phase power supply. This voltmeter selector switch, from the back it will look like this. There is terminal for R, there is a terminal for S. In the back side of this there will be terminal for T and V2. So if we will summarize this point, it will be V1, V2, R, T and S. Different brands have different naming. In some brands you will find the terminal naming as R, S, T. Some brands will give the terminal marking as R, Y, B, and some brands will give the marking as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so don't be confused by the marking name. The back terminal of the voltmeter selector switch, that is R, S, T and V1 and V2, I mention here. Okay, in the wiring what we have to do, we have to connect the R phase and to the R terminal of the selector switch together. In same way, we have to connect the yellow phase and the S terminal of the voltmeter selector switch together. In same way, we have to connect the blue phase and the T terminal of the voltmeter together. Then we have to connect the V1 terminal of the selector switch to the S1 terminal of the voltmeter. In same way, we have to connect the V2 terminal of the voltmeter selector switch to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. Then when we will rotate this knob to RS, then it will give the reading of potential difference between R phase and yellow phase. And when we will rotate it to the R, T and R, then it will give the potential difference between R phase and blue phase. And when we will rotate it to the S and T terminal, below there is mentioned S and T, then it will give the potential difference between the yellow phase and blue phase. But from here you can notice that we cannot measure the potential difference between the R phase and neutral, between the yellow phase and neutral, and between the blue phase and neutral, because this selector switch has only 4 position. One is off position and other 3 position is RS, ST and TR. So if we want to measure the potential difference between the phases as well as between the phase and neutral, then we have to go for the 7 position selector switch. This is the 7 position selector switch. You can check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is total 7 position. So let us check the wiring first, then we will see another detail. So our last case is voltmeter wiring with 7 position selector switch for 3-phase power supply. So what we will do, what we have done in the 4 position selector switch wiring, same we will do for the 7 position selector switch wiring. Here what we will do, we will connect the R phase with the R terminal of the selector switch, Y phase with the S terminal of the selector switch, B phase with the T terminal of the selector switch, and in addition to previous one, we have to connect the neutral to the common terminal of the selector switch. This you can see here, V1, V2, R, S. In same manner backside there is T and C. So we will connect the R phase, Y phase, B phase and neutral accordingly with R, S, T and C terminal. The V1 terminal of the selector switch we will connect with the S1 terminal of the voltmeter, and V2 terminal of the selector switch we will connect to the S2 terminal of the voltmeter. Then if we will rotate the knob to Rn, then it will give the potential difference between R phase and neutral. When we will rotate this knob to Ns, then it will give the potential difference between the yellow phase and neutral. When we will rotate this knob to Tn, then it will give the potential difference between the blue phase and neutral. In same manner, when we will rotate to Rs, then it will give the potential difference between the R phase and yellow phase. In same manner, if we will rotate the knob to St, then it will give the potential difference between the yellow phase and blue phase. And when we will rotate the selector switch knob to Tr, then it will give the potential difference between the blue phase and neutral. So here we summarize this issue. First we study the voltmeter wiring for single phase power supply. Then we study the voltmeter wiring for 3-phase power supply. Then we study the voltmeter wiring for 3-phase power supply with 4-position selector switch, and lastly we study the voltmeter wiring for 3-phase power supply with 7-position selector switch. This is all the possible cases for the voltmeter wiring. I hope by watching this video you will have a clear idea and clear understanding for the voltmeter wiring. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you really like my video, then please give thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and share with your friends. We will meet in any other video. Till then, take care, keep learning, and bye bye. Thank you so much.